Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are here. Let's go. Let's go. Great to see everybody popping up in the chat. Looking for Wednesday to be here. Um, I got an inkling last night when I was doing my checkup on what books are coming out. Go to my usual sources to find out what books are coming out. There's tons of YouTube channels. You guys know I've shared a few channels that I go to check out what is the new books coming out this week. And it's funny because my two main sources, one is Comic Book Palace YouTube channel, and the other one is Four Color Fantasy Books, I think, on Twitter that I follow. And they both do totally different ways of how they explain the books, which books are coming out. Which is why I like looking at both of them, because I pick up different things from either source. And then there's a couple other places I look, but those are the two main sources I've been pretty consistently reviewing, because they come out at about Tuesday afternoon. They put out the announcement, or they put out their post or their video of what is new for this week. So it's awesome. I love it. And I love the different perspectives that they show. The Comic Book Palace, they kind of take this long 30 plus minute explanation of the books. They have a little bit of commentary going on, what they like and don't like. They're kind of salty a little bit. They show just the covers. They divide it up based on publisher, like Marvel, DC, indie books. And it's just fun. I just like watching those guys. They're kind of like your typical comic book store owner personalities. And then the other one, so it's a little slower pace. And then the other one, like I said, is Four Color Fantasy Comics. And they post on Twitter or X, and they do a short video, and he just kind of runs through them. They like lay all the books, and like they just run through them really quick of like, this is what's out, this is what's out, this is what's out, this is out. So it's two totally different perspectives or delivery methods. And yesterday, Comic Book Palace, I guess they had some issue with the whoever delivers their books, whether it's FedEx or the shipping, UPS, and they had a delay or a snafu or something. And so they didn't have a lot of the books that were supposed to come out this week. So their video was kind of like, well, it's kind of screwed up. We don't have that much, and we're just going to show you what we do. And it was this like mishmash of a few things here and there. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's going to be kind of a slow week and not that much good coming out. But then I watched Four Color Fantasies post, and he was like, this is the most jam-packed week, and look at all the books we have. And he just went through like a lot. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want that book, or I have that book on hold. Or so there was so many different books. I was like, holy cow, this is going to be a really packed week. And I was also waiting for The Moon is Following Us, which Adam showed up and said, what's up, Adam?
This is Adam.
Hey.
Adam was asking if I got the book, and I called the store that I had reserved. I had it reserved at Comics Experience, and I said, what do I have in my box? And they said, yep, you got Moon is Following Us, cover B. So I was like, yes, nice. And then there was a couple other things that I didn't know were coming in that they said I had in my box, which was exciting. But then I had all the list of the other things that I had just heard from that X post that were coming out. And I was like, oh no. So what I did was I kind of split up my journey this morning, my comic book Wednesday journey. And I went to Amazing Fantasy in the Morning, Frank's shop, grabbed all the books that were not in my box there, had a chat with him, and then ran to Comic Experience and got the books that were in my box there, and actually picked another book up that was on the rack. It was kind of crazy, kind of went a little bananas today. And so we have a lot to go through, which is really exciting. All very different. Some you expected, some not expected. A lot to go through. And I kind of have a limited time today. I'm trying to end by 3 o'clock my time. So there's a lot to get through, but I'm super excited because usually, you pick up 2 or 3 books a week, if it's a good week. I've picked up 4, 5, 6, 9 books this week, and they're all various sizes, formats. So get ready. Let me see who's in the chat here, and then we will get into it because we've got a lot to get through, and it's all pretty awesome. So I'm pretty excited. Emo Trash, what's up, Emo Trash? I don't know if there's time for derailing, but knowing you, you'll make time. But it's going to be a jam-packed session, but I'm so glad to see you here. John is here. What's up, John?
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
John, I feel like I haven't played that. I mean, I saw you last stream, my Eisner stream, so I did, but I feel like I haven't played that recently. Did I forget to play that sound effect last time? If I did, I apologize. But good to see you. I'm not competing with Gothix today, maybe. She's a Monday streamer, it feels like it. Emo Trash says, opened YouTube and the notification almost immediately popped in my face. Was about to start asking where you were at. Good. Finally worked, sort of. Yes? No? Who knows? Got my first meal of the day and my caffeine. Yeah, I forgot to get my second dose of caffeine. So we'll see if I peter out. I'm running on the energy of a lot of comic books. How about that? So we'll see if I peter out. But yeah, I forgot. That was the one thing I forgot before the stream. Had all the check boxes of what I have to do to get ready, and I forgot to drink some caffeine. John says work isn't just a 4-letter word. Yeah, there's a few 4-letter words that work is sometimes, but we'll get through it. Are you decaffeinated? I mean, I had my first shot this morning, or first coffee this morning. Usually when I stream, I like to hit up right before the stream, just a little boost to catapult me in. It's like I just watched Furiosa last night, the Mad Max, sequel to the recent Mad Max movie, and it's not Thunder Road, whatever. But the prequel, Furiosa, I just watched it last night, and it was really good. It's really entertaining. It is what I expected to be. I know it got some hype, but then when it came out, it kind of fizzled a little bit, which I can see why. The casting of Chris Hemsworth with the nose prosthetic did not work for me. I like Chris Hemsworth. I thought he was great in that role, but I have no idea why they put that weird prosthetic on him. His face is so recognizable that it just looked like a bad Halloween costume. Like if they were going to do prosthetic makeup on him, which I can understand, there's all the baggage of Thor and his role as Thor. But I feel like if they were going to do makeup, they should have just gone full bore and like really changed up his face or like scarred it up or something like they did for Colin Farrell in The Penguin. Like that makeup work is unbelievable. And he is so not recognizable as Colin Farrell, and it works. Like his performance is great. You don't think of Colin Farrell or all the other stuff that he's done in the past. You just think, wow, he's the Penguin. So I kind of feel like they should have done that with Chris Hemsworth as Dementus. And so it was a little distracting the whole time, but he was a good character and kind of a cool role for him. Kind of sick and twisted role. But anyway, all that to say, I watched that last night. Totally entertained, fun, great movie. But caffeine before my stream is like the War Boys. They like take that spray and they like spray their face and they just go, and they just jump into it. That's kind of what it's like for me. And I didn't do that. So we'll see how long I last. Emo Trash says, Rocky, I'm not entirely convinced you need caffeine, but it does increase the entertainment factor by 50%. So who would I be to stop you? Yeah, I can muster up my own energy for sure. And just streaming in general is a little bit of a adrenaline boost, but caffeine's fun. Cranberry Landers is lurking. What's up, Cranberry?
This is a cranberry full of power.
How are you doing? Lurking is good. Lurking is fine. Just great to see you here. It's going to be a lot of good comic talk today. Moon is following us. Cover B is in the mail. I got A few days ago. I got B. B came. It was faithful. Brian at Comic Experience was right. They were delayed in delivering cover B, which is why I didn't get it last week. But it's here. So I'm very, very excited to get to that one. We'll see it soon. Where is everyone else? I don't know. They'll come. They will come. Rocky has to be going for a couple of hours before most show up. I think they show up late because they know I'm catching up on chat. Like I'm consistently 20 minutes behind on chat. So they're like, we'll show up once he catches up on chat and actually gets to the comics part. Chat feels a little slow without our other voices. You guys are doing fine. And it's giving me a chance to catch up, which I'm still a little behind. Slow burn, so to speak. When I can't derail you, I can still derail the rest of chat. Still, you can't outrun my chaos. We'll try. Feel free to play it whenever you like, Rocky. I'm going to play it for you again, John.
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
There you go. I went into class today, no caffeine, nothing to eat, just pure spite. I thought that was Sprite for a second. Pure spite. You know, that's a motivator. I think that was actually a line in Furiosa. I think that was a line in Furiosa. It was something to the effect of like, hope does not, you know, carry you through or does not motivate you. Hate does. So there you go, emo trash. You're Furiosa of the class. There you go. Katie, hey Katie.
Say cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
No, a cup of tea.
Cup of tea, Katie is here. Cup of tea, Katie. That's your new name. She is here. So good to see you. How are you doing? Great to see you on both my mornings or early afternoons and my evenings. So that works out. Chris Hemsworth character in Furiosa is an established character, so they just followed that for the movie. Oh, I see. But was the previous... Oh, maybe he looked a certain way? Oh, maybe that's it. I don't know enough about... I should go back and watch the original, like Mad Max and all that stuff. I don't know much about that. I just know from the current movies. And then I know a little bit about it, but I haven't watched the Mel Gibson movies in a long, long time. Hi all, Central Comics. What's up, Central Comics? How you doing? Thanks for coming by. It's Chris Hemsworth, not Helmsworth. John with the pronunciations. Mark Miller, not Millar. Saw a great interview with Mark Miller this morning. It was on John De La Rose's channel. I don't know. I just saw that Mark Miller was being interviewed. So I just jumped in there, and it was a great interview, really informative. Mark Miller is so articulate and so passionate about the comic book industry, and obviously has a lot of experience and a lot of know-how, a lot of inside knowledge. So it was a great interview, really informative, and I enjoyed it this morning. Had to look it up. Indeed, by the time we started drawing, I did not feel like drawing. And so it was quite literally spite that carried me through the back half of it. You got to push through those feelings, emo trash. I mean, maybe that's why emo trash is very appropriate for your handle. But yeah, you gotta push through it. Just jump into the grind. You gotta be excited to draw every day, because tomorrow you could lose your arm like Furiosa, or willingly cut it off herself. And you wouldn't be able to draw anymore, or you could like lose your eyesight. That's kind of morbid, but it's true. So you got to just jump in there and take advantage of every opportunity. Because what's worse than struggling to create art in art school or in art class with teachers and peers and all that? What's worse is doing it by yourself when you don't have the motivation of get this assignment done or learn this skill or whatever. And you just got to muster up your own energy. That's tough. That's the real deal right there. I understand the purpose of the exercise, but they've started to get repetitive and a little mod. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. It's not always fun. Not always. It's like I mentioned last stream. It's like working out. Like, that's not fun for me at all. Exercise is not fun. I mean, some people find it fun. I don't find it fun at all. It's just like, you just gotta do it, or you're gonna die, or you're gonna get a carpal tunnel, or scoliosis, or all the above. You gotta do it. I thrive by myself, Emo Trash says. Well, that's good. That's good. Gotta self-motivate, but lean into it, Emo Trash. You won't regret it. All right, I caught up. See, that's a good thing. We don't have a super full chat because I can catch up, and I got a lot of books to get through. So let's not beat around the bush. Let's just dive into it, and we'll have plenty of derailing and side conversations to go. But I do want to get through all these books, and I'm already 25 minutes in. Jeez Louise. Okay, so where are we? All right, first book. Here we go. Uncanny X-Men. They're cranking these out. I did finish reading the second one. Is that in focus? I did finish reading the second one last week or whenever it came out. And I will say that I wasn't as excited at the end of issue 2 as I was at the end of issue 1. So I was like, uh-oh, like, are we not staying on track a little bit? Part of it had to do with some of the new characters, like X-Horse or whatever. I was like, oh, all right, they're trying to intro the new characters. And part of it was, I don't know, it was missing something that the first issue captured. So I maybe it was partially like it was introducing some of the like past history that I wasn't so familiar with. And I felt like the first issue balanced that really well. I didn't have to know all the backstory of that stuff. It was kind of relying on a lot of the X-Men that were established, or the storylines that were established from when I started reading X-Men. So yeah, the second issue is just like, So who knows where this third issue goes. But it's cool that it's coming out regularly. I did mention last Wednesday I didn't pick up the new plain X-Men, like no Uncanny X-Men, the plain one, because it had a guest artist and I wasn't so tied to the storyline. So I was like, I'll skip this week. But this one I'm still hanging on to. Same artist. Art looks good. Check out Rogue. Oh boy. I guess they can touch. And cool. I can already tell without having read this issue that Gail Simone, the writer, is really trying to capture these everyday moments, kind of human moments with the characters. She does set it up quite a bit with having these conversational moments with them, which was really great from the old Chris Claremont series or run, where they had time to just process and think, and you can kind of get into their heads. It wasn't always just action, 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 which is kind of what the plain X-Men book is. It's just all action, action, action. So I love these moments. I don't know. I haven't read the dialogue. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I have hopes that it will. Artwork looks pretty tight. Here's those new characters. There's X-Horse. There you are, X-Horse. Yeah, I wasn't that keen on this character. This one felt like millennial Gen X kind of character here. These guys were like, but we'll see. They are for sure leading up to a conflict between Rogue's team, which is this team, and Cyclops' team, which is the plain X-Men team. So they're kind of building up to that story point. This is cool, though. I like his Rogue. This artist Rogue. She's really cute. And here comes Nightcrawler. He's kind of playing a bigger part. Okay, cool. It looks like they're doing some like training with the new X-Men, so that's pretty neat. Going into some backstory here. Colors look cool. More backstory. That's cool. Nice. Barnstormer. Is that her name? Barnstormer? Huh. I kind of like X-Horse. It seems like the mutant power is like adding wings to the horse. Ember. Bark. Ember is the horse. Can't wait for this series to come out. This is Declan Shalvey's new series coming out soon. October. Wow, that's just right around the corner. And I do have something from him that came out this week too. So here's that weird gothy character. So this looks cool. This looks pretty cool. I think that what it's doing is just taking the time to give us a little bit of backstory while having them interact with the X-Men we know and love. So cool. I have more high hopes for this issue than issue 2. Oh, and there's that like weird demon character from the first issue. She showed her face in the second issue, and I was like, meh, looks cool here. Wolverine's full-on fighting. Cool. Okay. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Uncanny X-Men number 3. All right, where are we at, chat? Are people filing in now? I saw some movement here. Comrade Sammy, what's up? We're here. We're starting through My Wednesday Comics. I got a lot of books to get through, so I just jumped in without waiting for you to get here, but you're here now. Ferris Comics is here. Hello again, Ferris Comics. Nice to see you. Adam, big fan of the X-Horse. Or Barnstormer. I don't know, it'll always be X-Horse in our minds. Big fan of the X-Horse. It's not officially called X-Horse. That's just what Adam kept calling it. Is Rocky going to make you drift off to sleep if he hasn't already? It's possible. Possible. All right, here's the next issue. Or the next book I picked up. Wolverine Revenge. Red Band issue came out. Oh, I need scissors. Yes, I'm unfortunately a big sucker for the Red Band stuff. I hate these scissors. I got hooked on it from the Blood Hunt miniseries, and I knew it was a gimmick. It was not a good gimmick for the Blood Hunt. I felt a little gypped with that, but Wolverine came out with that. I'm like, well, okay, Wolverine. And he was kind of messed up differently than the regular version, which I didn't pick up. I just flipped through it at the comic book store. But he did change him up quite a bit in the Red Band version. Like, really messed up Wolverine, at least, at the end of the first issue. Probably. I love the Nightcrawler love. Yeah, Nightcrawler's a great character. He was always a great character. Really human, and arguably the weirdest looking X-Men at the time in the 80s and 90s. Or the most different looking X-Men. But he had such a strong sense of morality and heart and struggle, even his own internal struggle of like how he looked, how he fit in, and his religion. And he was great. He's a great character. So yeah, it seems like they're kind of bringing him back more into the fold. Why are all my YouTube subscriptions going nuts with content as of late? No. People are just excited to stream. All right, here we go. So at the end of the first issue of Wolverine Revenge, he went with Captain America. If you guys remember, he went with Captain America, Bucky, and pretty much just got slaughtered by Omega Red, Deadpool, Sabretooth. And then they got bombs planted in their chest. I don't know. It was kind of crazy. And he got wrecked at the end of the first issue. Like, it just caught on fire, exploded. And it was this gnarly end of the first issue. And the original Nick Fury is here. It's great. The artwork's great. Greg Capullo. I know he's cranking this stuff out really fast, too. I follow him on social media. And he's constantly posting like new things and also working on his own creator-owned stuff. So Greg Capullo's one of those artists. I feel like he's hit that point in his career where it's kind of like a John Romita Jr. or Walt Simonson, where he just knows who he is and has a rhythm and a pace at how he can create comics, and he just like crunches this stuff out, and it's really good. It's very solid. Forge is here. This reminds me of something about the colors, and this design reminds me of like Star Wars land speeder. But yeah, Greg Capullo's just showing off. He's like, I can pretty much draw anything, and I like the colors are great in this. I forgot who the color is. I think it's Placencio. FCO Placencia. Yeah, good colors. Is this Mastermind? I think so. Whoa. That's crazy. Wolverine with a Magneto helmet. I guess to protect himself from... Whoa. I wonder how they showed this in the non-red band version. I forgot. This is red band version, so I'm assuming that was maybe not like that. And... wow, they're using his brain. This is crazy. Yeah, there's not that much violence in this yet. Maybe this stuff here they added in. Is this in focus? Make sure this is in focus for you guys. Ooh, that's better. That's better. Yeah, this must be where all the red band stuff coming out. Blood, tire to the face. It's cool. Slash, hack and slash. All right. Yeah. Okay, I didn't flip through the regular version, so I don't know the comparison of... but I wasn't going to plunk out money for it. I wasn't going to be suckered twice, just once. That's cool. It's looking good. Wolverine Revenge. Issue 2. Adam says the relationship between Kurt and Logan is so good. I'd love to see more there. Gives a much softer look at Logan. Yeah. Greg only draw and shreds guitar and drinks coffee. That's his whole life. Yes, he's definitely got that like heavy metal, like I've seen guitars in the background of his stuff. It kind of fits with the vibe of his work too. I know he did that whole dark metal series with I want to say Scott Snyder was the writer. So yeah, which is like, heavy metal, comics meets heavy metal. All right, so those were the Marvel books that I got. Not that I normally categorize it this way, but here are the DC books. So first one is Batman The Long Halloween #0. So they are doing a series called The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, which is written by Jeff Loeb, who was the original writer of The Long Halloween, with Tim Sale. And Tim Sale passed away maybe about a year ago, which is a real shame. Super young guy and phenomenal artist. Great. I've talked about Tim Sale before on stream. I have that like Tim Sale black and white art of book of his stuff. I have a bunch of his stuff that he's done. He did like a miniseries before called Billy, Thieves World. I don't own Thieves World. I actually should look into getting a compilation of that because I did really like that. But he's got a very noir, ink-heavy style. I'd almost compare it to Frank Miller a little bit. Some of Frank Miller's work, there's some influence in there. But he's a great storyteller. He did Superman for All Seasons with Jeff Loeb as well, which I have. He did Daredevil Yellow and Spider-Man Blue. He did a whole bunch of like colored themed things with Jeff Loeb. They just kind of ran with it. So Long Halloween was one of their stronger stories, I'd argue. And I guess, I don't know if it's an anniversary or just a tribute to Tim Sale and the series that they did, but they're releasing a new series called The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, and they're having different artists do each issue, I think, is what I think. And there's 10 of them. But they also released this prologue, which I found out from Frank today is just a re-release. They've done it before, drawn by Tim Sale before he passed away. But I never picked it up, so I picked up this reprint. And this is classic Tim Sale artwork. Oh yeah, Tim Sale also did work on Grendel. Like, he's been around and has done an amazing body of work. But it's just a shame that he passed away so young. But yeah, so this came out, this Prelude came out, which again was already released before. This is just a re-release. I never picked it up myself, so I was happy to pick it up today. I just love Tim Sale's storytelling. Just his like comic storytelling. He's got a strong grasp on that, and not just the fancy splash page pinups, but he's really thinking about how he's telling the story, how he paces it out, and he did that so well in Long Halloween. And then he has really neat kind of simple, I won't even say simple, but like just a neat take on his design sense. It's very unique, very different, and the closest artist I can think to where his style of storytelling and his style of artwork reminded me of is some Frank Miller work. So yeah. Oh yeah, he also worked on Death Blow for Image Comics a while back too. Yeah, he's done a lot. It's great. The colors, I think, is... Oh, Brennan Wagner. Oh, wow. Usually it's Dave Stewart that works with Tim Sale on a lot of his work. Brennan Wagner, I believe, is Matt Wagner's son, who is... Matt Wagner is the creator of Grendel, which Tim Sale worked on. So there's that connection. And but if for those of you who haven't read Long Halloween, highly recommend it. It's a great story, and it kind of runs through the gamut of all the Rogues Gallery in Batman's world. So yeah, this stuff reminds me of Frank Miller. And Tim Sale, when he got his start, he definitely had more of an indie vibe to his work. So it was really cool to see him crack the mainstream and do his own thing in the mainstream, not do what everybody else was doing. Cool stuff. This looks great. This looks like a great story. I definitely don't have this story. They've re-released Long Halloween so many times, like Deluxe Edition and Complete Edition and blah 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 edition. Sometimes they include supplemental material. So I was a little nervous that I already had this story, but I definitely haven't. I don't have this story. There's Tim Sale, 2022. So that was 2 years ago that he passed away, but really young. Super shame. 46. Oh no, wait. 444. 66. Wow, that's a lot older than I thought. I thought he was 50s, but yeah, definitely unexpected that when he passed away. So they talk about the last Halloween here. I have a feeling they might have started the last Halloween when Tim Sale was still alive, but then they never finished it. So then they got these other artists to kind of step in and take over and do it. 10-issue mystery celebrating the legacy of Tim Sale. There you go. Here are all the artists that are working on it, which they're pretty huge. Eduardo Rizzo, Klaus Janson, Chiarello, Cliff Chang, Sankovic, Enrico Marini, Dave Johnson, Becky Cloonan, Chris Samney, Matteo Scalera. Yeah, these are big names. So cool. So yeah, this came out. Batman Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, number 0. I've hardly eaten today. Comrade Sammy, get something in you. Some sort of sustenance. Have I mentioned that? Nope, you didn't mention that. What should I have? Well, leftovers are always good. I'm a big sandwich guy. Sandwich, can you muster up a sandwich? Classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Don't go wrong with that. Or, I mean, you didn't eat spaghetti. It was John who ate spaghetti late night. So if you could get a hold of John's spaghetti leftovers, those were good. Spaghetti's always good. Cobb salad. That's a good suggestion. You came in just to say Cobb salad, Cranberry? Is that your move? All right. That's hilarious. Okay, so here is the first issue of Long Halloween, Last Halloween. I got the variant cover, Jim Lee variant cover. Why not? And this issue, issue 1, is drawn by Eduardo Rizzo, who, if you guys go back and see the last YouTube short I posted, it was Sergeant Rock versus the zombies or something like that. Zombie apocalypse. And Eduardo Rizzo was the artist on it. But Eduardo Rizzo has done a lot of work with, oh gosh, what is that series that Eduardo Rizzo did? Something Bullets. Did he do? I'm just blanking. Anyway, Eduardo Rizzo is an amazing artist. He actually, funny you should mention, his stuff reminds me of Tim Sale, Frank Miller, because he uses a lot of stark black shadows, like this stuff. Great storyteller, great artist. But yeah, he uses a lot of hard shadows in his work. And kind of these graphic representations, like this kind of stuff. Like, it's awesome. I really like Rizzo's work. And I love it when Dave Stewart or somebody in his caliber who's a master at like color theory colors Rizzo's work, because as you can see, like his style is pretty flat and graphic. And so you want somebody who honors that with the colors, but also enhances it, right, with what they do. And so like adding in these mid-tone shadows here, but the colors of that he picks on the mid-tone shadows is awesome. And it complements the black and white work from Rizzo really well. This looks awesome. Is it 100 Bullets? Is that the series that Rizzo worked on? I think so. It was very like gritty. He does very gritty film noir kind of stuff, and his work lends it to it. But then on occasion he'll do like a superhero book, or like Batman works really well for his style. I think he did like a mini series for Batman maybe about a decade ago. He's done some work in the Batman Black and White anthology series. He did like a story in there. This is awesome. Like this kind of stuff, this is where like when you get a good colorist, and if you can imagine this page in black and white and them kind of establishing like, oh yeah, these are neon lights and stuff, but like this rim light, this color of this rim light here, just add it in because it's not drawn in the black and white. You know, this is all the colorists like doing this. It's so cool. It works really well with the flat style that Rizzo does. And then he doesn't draw, like he picks spots where he'll draw the background, but a lot of his panels are like this. And Tim Sale does this a lot, where it's just whatever the image is and there's no background. It's just a color card. And so you got to get the right colorist to really work with that, right? He doesn't have, it's not like, oh, well, there's sky and there's a building, and so colored appropriately. It's like, it's whatever you make it. And so I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it on the screen. Hopefully you can see it in the stream, but like this is a subtle shift in yellows right here, right? And Rizzo in his black and white artwork is not indicating any of that. It's just like blank, blank, blank. But that's Stewart right there, like giving us a progression just with color here. And even like the use of the yellows here. So you get this sense like, oh yeah, this is like Robin rotating in space. Like in one panel, we're seeing different poses of Robin. So it's not like there's 3 Robins here. It's like, oh yeah, this is like a different poses of Robin in that moment. But the colors he chooses here, the monochromatic yellows that he chooses here, and then right here he pops up the contrast in that in Robin's chest right here, and the colors here, and so then you feel like, oh, okay, and this is the actual present moment of Robin. So it's like this happened a few seconds right before this. Boom. That's all the colorist. This kind of stuff, this kind of trick, Dave Stewart is really, really good at color. And so as a black and white artist like Rizzo, very strong black and white artist, you have to pair them up with a great colorist to do this kind of stuff. Beautiful. I love this. It's awesome. Wow. That's great. This is stuff that reminds me of Tim Sale. How he treated the rain on Batman's costume right here. Like this definitely reminds me of Tim Sale, like using the white to show the like drips on his costume. Yeah, it's awesome. Wow, great compositions. And this is all intentional. This is what I love. I mean, Rizzo would be great, or Tim Sale would be great to do a master study on, because because their artwork is more simplified, more graphic in nature, they have to be really intentional with the shapes and the compositions that they put down, right? They're not just like wowing you with all the like scratchy hatching and everything. It's like they're really kind of directing your eye, and this is what makes them great storytellers. But like, just look at this composition and this like crime scene tape here. It's totally like leading your eye to look in a certain way, and then this little slight element here cuts you up here. You look at their faces, brings you down here, and then this fence is leading you back up here. Like all that kind of stuff, all these lines going down here, it's totally intentional. It's really good. Like this kind of stuff, very Tim Sale, Rizzo, Frank Miller, Sin City kind of stuff. It's awesome. Love these raindrops, these negative raindrops. Wow, I'm getting caught up on this book. This is great. The artwork's great. Stunning. I'm pretty sure they're going to, wow, that's cool. I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with like a graphic novel of all these issues. They're going to do it, but I got to get them as they come out individually. This is cool. Very, very, very cool. I'm in it. I'm in. Wow, cool. So this is the black and white art. Wow, I love that they include it in here. The pencils to the inks. That's awesome. So like I was telling you guys, like, you know, he's not telling Dave Stewart, oh yeah, do a slight progression of the background cut. Like he's just, there it is. I mean, they might have a conversation about it, but there's something so powerful about the black and white art too on its own, but the colors are great. Oh, here we go. That's that page, right? There is no, I'll zoom in a little bit just for the heck of it. There's no indication of that rim light that I was pointing out, right? It's just the figure of Batman up here. Oh, these are like costume corrections. Wow. Oh, I see. He added her boots. I made them like thigh-high boots and the gloves. Changed the shoes to be more elf-like. Oh, whoops. Sorry, it's off screen. Elf-like than the like thick boots here. But yeah, he didn't make any indication of like that rim light that Dave Stewart did. This stuff. That's all the colorist. There's the Jim Lee cover that I have. Cool. Highly recommend if you are into Tim Sale, Eduardo Rizzo, or this style art. It's awesome. This is a great first issue. I'm for sure going to keep up with this miniseries. All right. I know I'm behind now. Definitely behind now. Cheerisalms. I like hot dog sandwiches myself.
What's wrong, little Pookie?
I mean, is a hot dog a sandwich? I've heard this debate before. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Because it's got two pieces of bread. Well, I mean, it's got the bun, arguably two sides of the bread, and the thing in the middle. What do you think? Is a hot dog a sandwich? Or what was the other one? Somebody said, like, is a taco a sandwich? No, I think it was a taco. I think it was a hot dog. That's the big debate. So, but a hot dog sandwich? Maybe. In the Warriors basketball stadium, they have this food stall that they're famous for their, I think it's their hot dog hamburger or their hamburger hot dog. I can't remember. It's one or the other. And basically, they just put hamburger meat in the middle of a hot dog bun and call it whatever it is. It's famous, but I tried it. It was okay. It was just kind of reconfigured hamburger into a hot dog bun. But a hamburger hot dog could be good. There's still leftover pumpkin ravioli. Okay. I'm hit or miss with pumpkin. The flavor of pumpkin is 50-50 for me. It could be really good. Like I like pumpkin pie, but then I don't like pumpkin spice stuff. All the like holiday stuff, I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, pumpkin ravioli I have had before. So yeah, that could be really good. Would I expect anything less of cranberry? I don't know. Reds, blacks, and purples are awesome in the book. Yeah, they're great. Put the poor boy wonder in booty shorts. The classic boy wonder. I love it. There's that Batman and I think it's Batman and Robin Year One coming out by Chris Samney, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna put him in that costume, the like elf inspired costume. Say no to booty shorts, children. Everybody says amen, amen. Spaghetti of mine is all gone. John ate it up. Yeah, that's too bad. I still have some of mine. That voice bite for me disturbs me on another level. I was thinking about it today. I aim to please, Pookie.
What's wrong, little Pookie?
Hot dogs are hot dogs. That's why they have their own category. I agree. But I've heard people say, is the sandwich, is it more of an umbrella category to hot dog? Like it's like a subcategory. Hot dogs are subcategory in sandwiches. I don't know. You could have cereal. Can't go wrong with cereal. They are See? They are sandwiches. According to Cherish Psalms, look how you have to put mustard on it like a sandwich. Well, I don't know if that's a deciding factor because not everybody puts mustard on your hot dog. I like mustard on my hot dog, but not everybody does. Fruit is good, Comrade Sammy. Or scrambled eggs, all good. Man, you're hitting all the regulars, the staples of food. How about you do a little bit of all of it? Yeah, make one of those fruit bowls. Acai. Can you get acai bowl? Oh, I love acai bowls. Pumpkin pie and bread is the most I get out of autumn. Pumpkin spice is highly overrated. Yeah, I don't like pumpkin spice drinks. Nothing. I do like pumpkin pie. I do like pumpkin bread. Yes, I do. Yeah, it's good. Cheesecake in the oven. What's up, awesome one? Always cooking.
Yes! That's awesome!
Is it a pumpkin cheesecake, maybe? Or a hot dog cheesecake, maybe? Can we abolish that soundbite? Wow, don't like it, huh? I don't know, Cherish Psalms. I thought we had something there. We'll see. We'll see. Not everyone puts mustard on a sandwich, but it is still a sandwich. Honey mustard on your hot dogs. That is good. That is good. Yeah. Honey mustard's good. Chick-fil-A sauce. You could put that on anything, on both a sandwich or a hot dog, and it's good. All right, cool. Here is a totally left field book, but I did call it out to be in my box because I'm not a huge Lobo fan. I appreciate him, but I'm not diehard Lobo. However, this artist is named Kyle Hotz, maybe. I've seen him pop in and out of social media, and he's worked on a few things like Blackest Night. I think he did some issues of something, and I've seen him do some covers of, there was like a one of the zombie black and white issues that I got many Wednesdays ago. He did the cover of it, and I got it just because he did the cover. But I think he's a fantastic artist. He's got this horror, EC Comics, Bernie Wrightson kind of vibe to his work. Beautiful ink work on his work. Really solid artist, just a drawer. And I found out that he was doing this whole issue. So I was like, wow, okay, cool. I want that. Because he's not on any regular book. He just does mainly, from what I've seen, mainly covers and pinups. But him drawing Lobo on a whole book sounds pretty awesome. And from what I can see, it looks pretty awesome. So yeah, he's got this Bernie Wrightson vibe to his stuff where there's like really muscly and a little bit like the artist of the Goon. Oh gosh, what's his name? Somebody give me. His name is, why am I blanking on his name? Wow, I'm so bad on stream of thinking of names. I'm in my mind, I'm like Glenn Powell, but no, Glenn Powell is the actor. His name's Eric Powell. Thank you, Wikipedia. Yeah, Eric Powell is. Whoa, did I freeze? Did my camera freeze? My camera is freezing. Huh. Why are you freezing like that? Whoop. And there we go. Hang on a second, everybody. What happened? What happened? With all the like iOS updates and everything, there has been a little bit of quirkiness to my technology. So 1 second. Let's try and get this going again. And are we back? All right, we're back. That was weird. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm behind again. Too many choices. Honey mustard on a hot dog. I love honey. I will have to follow that. I should add that I exclusively eat my mother's homemade pies and pumpkin bread. So yeah, when you get homemade stuff, that's a whole different story. Anything else has always been disappointing, for sure. I agree. That means you're a healthy gal eating no processed stuff. Yep. Just left that 70s rock fan going over his 0.25 movie purchases at a churchyard sale. Wow, you watch the craziest stuff, awesome one, which is cool. You're just like a hub of random YouTube streams. Those who don't like things others do for you, that type of person. I'm eating ice cream from our Mexican ice cream place. Does it have cinnamon in it? Or that's Mexican chocolate. Never mind. Let's see. Where are we? Okay. Looks cool. Central Comics says looks cool. Do better, chat. The person's voice messes with me because it sounds like your voice. Hey, you in an alternate universe. That's why it works. Oh wait, who's the colorist on this? The artwork looks amazing. Carl Hotz's artwork looks amazing. Colors look great. Yes, I was thinking Eric Powell, Bernie Wrightson. There we go, back on track kind of style of artwork. But he puts, I mean, this is probably why he's not on a regular book, because he puts a lot of pencil mileage into his art, as you can see. Very different from Eduardo Rizzo, but different in a good way. Not that one is better than the other. This is a pretty thick one-shot too, so I love it. And if he does the art all the way through, that's great. Here it is. Kyle Hotz, Dan Brown as the colorist. Oh, they had a variant Simon Bisley cover too, who is the king of Lobo. Yeah, this is amazing. This looks great. Really good. Glad I got it. Great artwork. Let me make sure I am still focused after that restart. Totally bugs me if I'm not. There we go. Some cool character designs here. Weird alien, typical Lobo characters. This guy looks like he's from Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. That's great. This is amazing. Amazing artwork. He should just do Lobo all the time. Yeah, this feels for sure like Bernie Wrightson inspired stuff. In a good way. I love his Lobo too. I mean, if there's one thing, if you cast a specific artist on a specific book, you want to make sure they work for the main character. So yeah, his Lobo's cool. This great exaggeration. Great action stuff. He can just draw, really draw. So I'm curious to see if I've seen it's interesting. I don't think you guys would be able to see it. Like in this panel in particular, I'm noticing that the colorist is almost, he's not just like, oh yeah, blue or light blue or gradient blue, like he's kind of painting it on too. So that adds to make the artwork, like really enhance the artwork. It's very painterly the way he's applying the colors. But I've seen artwork of Kyle Hotz, I'm just going to go with Hotz, that is inked. And this feels like there's like a softness to it. So I'm wondering if he did this pencils and they just like leveled it for the final instead of actually inking it. I don't know. But there's definitely a softness quality. I mean, he does a lot of cross-hatching too, so that adds to the dimensionality and the softness in it. This is amazing. Fragged. Or who knows, maybe he's working digitally. I don't know. That's cool. Oh, there's the penguin right there. Speaking of the penguin. This is cool. Cool one-shot. Happy with that. Wow, look at that. This is based on Sean Gordon Murphy's Batman. A McFarlane toy. Yeah, this is great. If you like his artwork or Lobo, highly recommend. This is a thick one-shot, and it's all consistent inside. Just used to seeing him do covers and then be a different interior artist, but he did the whole shebang, so pretty awesome. All right. Halfway through, sort of, kind of. Not really, but halfway through my time. Let's see. What are you guys saying? I'm glad Rocky is having none of cherished complaints. That's right. I don't want you to feel weird every time you see it. or hear it.
What's wrong, little Pookie?
Don't feel weird, but at the same time, I like it. It's kind of cool. And to change it now, what would we do? Okay, I'll abuse you with my voice in the DMs. 70s rock fan has a lot of music quizzes and ancient knowledge on rock music. Oh, okay. Cool. Nice. I'll take your voice over your posts any day, Emo Trash says. So abusive. You guys are abusing each other on Discord, I'm assuming. The reflection in the eye is neat. Yes. Cheesecake coming. Awesome one. It's hard to get hot with ice cream. This is the weirdest chat in a while. Yeah, let her feel weird. Okay. This one, I wasn't planning on picking this up, but I saw it. How cool is that cover? That's a pretty cool cover. So Valiant is a label that they're kind of hit or miss. They did Exo, Man of War, Ninjak way back in the 90s when Image was coming out. They were competing with Image. That's when they popped up. Exo, Man of War, Magnus Robot Hunter, Bloodshot, a few other titles. And I never really got into the stories of Valiant. Every now and then I'll read some stories that they come out with, pick up some stuff, but it just never totally clicked with me. Ninjak I like just because Joe Quesada was drawing it. Exo Man of War had Bart Sears drawing it at one point, or doing the covers at least, but I think he drew... Oh, Turok, also Dinosaur Hunter. So they have all these like staple of characters, but I would say probably Bloodshot is my favorite character to come out of the Valiant universe because of his look, his design. He's kind of like Punisher meets Wolverine a little bit. He has these like blood, at least the storylines that I read, he has this like nanotech in his blood that helps him to heal himself and like kind of rebuild himself. So it's a little bit Wolverine-ish and Punisher. And then he had a cool design with that like red circle on his chest. They even made a movie out of it starring Vin Diesel. Never watched that. But yeah, Bloodshot, I would say, is probably my favorite character to come out of the Valiant universe. I had no idea this book was coming out, Black and White and Bloodshot. And because of his design, it kind of works really well to do a anthology gimmicky book like Black and White. So I just flipped through it today when I went to the store, and it's got 3 stories, I think, in it. I love this cover, but this artist didn't do a story in it. I don't even know who the artist is. I'll have to look it up. But it has like 3 stories in it, and they all looked pretty cool in this black, white, and red format. So I decided to pick it up. Ariel Olivetti has done a lot of work for the majors. He has kind of a realistic style, Alex Rossi kind of style, and solid artist / painter. So that's cool. Cool start of the series. I was actually working on some before I even started my YouTube channel, but I was starting to get back into comics. I was working on some Bloodshot sample pages because there was a Bloodshot book I read that was okay, but I was like, what if I redid this page? Like, what if I was the artist hired on this page and I redid it? And I started working on it. I never finished it, but I started working on it. I don't even have it. Do I have some of those here? Let me see. I thought I had it here. And I should finish it one day, but then after a while, I was like in the middle of it, and I'm like, well, if I'm working on this, I should just work on my own stuff. But then I got caught up in this whole YouTube thing, and then them's the breaks. Oh yeah. Yeah, these are it's like some sample Bloodshot stuff I was doing. But he's cool. He's kind of a cool, action-y character with guns, so, you know. It was fun. It was a fun exercise. I should finish them one day, but who knows? Back to this. This story with Bloodshot. Very realistic artwork. It's not my cup of tea, Katie. Hashtag Katie. It's not my cup of tea, the art style, but it's solid, really solid. So, it's cool. And then like this kind of stuff happens to Bloodshot. And then he kind of reforms, regenerates. So it's kind of interesting first story. This was the second story. I've never heard of this artist before, Guillermo Fallardo. But I like the style of it. It's got an indie black and white vibe to it that is kind of cool. This weird Mickey Mouse villain. Steamboat Willie villain. Maybe that's why they're doing it, because Steamboat Willie is now in the public domain, which blows my mind. Like, that's such an iconic rendition of Mickey Mouse is in the public domain now, but that's probably why they inserted it here in this story. And then there's this story by another artist I have never heard of named Rodrigo Roca, which was kind of a cool art style, a little bit more manga influence, I'd say. Looser, but pretty cool. So yeah, I just thought, it'd be a cool thing to pick up. Whoa. Very violent. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have super ties. Here's all the Valiant characters. There's Ninjak, Bloodshot, Exo Man of War. What was this guy's name? Was it Deadman? I don't know who this chick is. And I don't know who these are. But yeah, I don't know how Valiant is doing, but they do kind of ride on their main characters a little bit. I keep seeing them reinventing them and relaunching them and doing stuff like this. So there you go. Valiant, black, white, and Bloodshot. Mateus Bergara. Oh, no wonder why I like this cover. He's great. Okay. There we go. All right, let's see. Bloodshot is a hell of a name. I am intrigued. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. There's some good stories with Bloodshot. And he's a cool design if you're into Punisher, Wolverine kind of stuff. Yeah, he's been around for a while. I liked Exo Man of War better. Yeah, I mean, Exo Man of War, his story was like his armor was like over the course of generations, right? I don't know. It was just a weird like symbiotic armor kind of thing. I never read those stories. I don't know why. All right, the funny thing is I picked up this next book, and when I was paying for it, I was telling the person at the store, Zoe at the store, I was saying, this is a little bit of, like, this is going to be, like, I bought all the other books pretty standard, and then I was like, this is kind of be in the category of an indulgent purchase. And she's like, but aren't all comics indulgent? Which is true. But here we go. I'm a little embarrassed, but kind of not. I picked this up. Turtles of Grayskull, #1. Why in the heck would I pick this up? I'm a huge fan of, well, that's not true. I grew up with He-Man. I loved He-Man growing up, specifically the toys and the cartoon. And I think I've gone through and streamed before my He-Man, the like thick book I have of all the He-Man comics that came with the toys. Like, I just love He-Man. It was just so fun for me. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Grew up with them as well. And I know they do weird things with them, weird crossover things with them. And so when I heard about this book, it was like, am I really, like, do I have any interest in picking out this up? And then look at this, like, Michelangelo with a blonde wig. I'm like, come on, like, like whenever the Turtles have all this crazy gear, it's like, I don't know. But I flipped through it, And the artwork is pretty good. It's by Freddie Williams II. I've seen his name before. I'm not 100% sure of what he's worked on before, but it's kind of fun, kind of over the top and crazy. And like I said, it was indulgent, so it's cool. I mean, this is really cool. It's really it gives me this like Joe Madureira, J. Scott Campbell kind of vibe to his stuff, like just fun, over the top designs, appealing drawing. Look at that Man at Arms. How could you not like that? Splinter's so worried there. Why are my sons wearing toy armor? Like this was kind of cool. Like look at Shredder in the middle of like these with like Krang and Skeletor. Like he fits right in with his toy armor. So I think the fact that they pushed the toyeticness of it so much just made me laugh and made me want to check it out. So even the colors feel very much straight out of the toys that we played with. It's not taking itself too seriously. So I think that's what the fun of it comes from. Come on, that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. I mean, if I pick up Deadpool Team Up drawn by Rob Liefeld last week, why wouldn't I pick if my wallet will support that, why wouldn't it support Sorceress with snot coming out of her nose? Come on. Which actually Deadpool Team Up #2 came out and I almost got it. The first issue was what you could kind of expect. I went through it in my Wednesday comics whenever that came out, last week or the week before. It is what you expect. Rob Liefeld writing it, drawing it. Pretty cheesy, pretty hokey, kind of fun. But when I looked at the second issue, I was like, okay, it's kind of more the same thing. I almost bought it because Declan Shalvey did a cover, and I almost got the variant cover. But then I saw this, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to indulge on buying this, then maybe I should not indulge and buy Deadpool Team Up. So I put that back on the stand. Hopefully I won't regret it. But come on, these guys are awesome. These are the like the Triceraton race that's from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're just putting them all together and it kind of works. And check it out, man. He-Man. I'm so happy to see him like this. I hate it when everybody tried to like update him and, you know, make him look cooler or whatever. Like, this is what you wanted to see as a kid with your toys. Like, and there he is. This is pretty cool. So I'm kind of excited to read this. And then look at these drawings. This is what makes me feel like J. Scott Campbell a little bit. These are very cool designs. I'll have to look up what Freddie Williams has done before. I know I've seen his name before. I just can't place what he's worked on. These are awesome, right? Everybody in agreement, right? Pretty cool. So that was fun. Fun to pick that up and just laugh at myself for picking it up. And be reminded by Zoe that you're buying comics, man. You're not buying like you know, the classics, or like you're not increasing your brain power by buying any of these books. Let's see. Comrade Sammy is settling for pickled okra, cottage cheese, and baby carrots. Wow. All things I probably wouldn't eat. I'd eat baby carrots. Cottage cheese depends on how. Straight out of the container, I can't do it. There's something about that texture that just doesn't sit well with me. I like the flavor, but something about that texture. Pickled okra, not a fan. Chocolate milk, I'm a fan. So that's an interesting combo, Comrade Sammy. Very different from a hot dog or a pumpkin pie. Trying to find references for one of my own characters that I haven't actually made because I'm a bad artist. Oh, So I just have to remember her. You're not a bad artist, Emo Trash. You are a growing artist. You are a learning artist. You're a hard-working artist. So you're not a bad artist. Growing insinuates that I still have to start out bad. No. It's not bad to grow or to learn. Yes, the Triceratons. That's right. That's Triceratons. What's up? Mark's Music Obsession. How are you, man? Good to have you here. We are more than halfway through all the books, but I've got a lot of books today, so you're catching the last, I'd say third of what books I picked up today, but definitely go back and watch earlier because a lot of weird different books, but a lot of fun books actually this week. And so far, the books I've picked up, I'm all pretty excited about all of them. So it's a good week. It's a full week, expensive week, but it's a good week. He-Man and She-Ra origin movie, awesome. Yeah, the Zoe at Comics Experience was asking me, she was like, did you watch the latest She-Ra series that came out maybe like 4 or 5 years ago? And I did, but I kind of like the original more, the cheesiness of the original more. And this comic book, the Turtles and Masters of the Universe, really taps into the cheesiness of it, so I love it. That's why I picked it up. Hashtag girl dinner. Been working, trying to get stuff done between the rain. Oh yeah, there's a huge storm coming your guys' way, right? Are you going to be affected by that? Because I have some relatives that are coming this week. It's probably going to throw off my next week for a precursor. Like my next week in streaming might be thrown off because I'm going to have some relatives come. And that storm is heading their way, so it might affect their flight. They're supposed to come tomorrow. So we don't know. We're kind of crossing our fingers, but hopefully you'll be okay. Mark's Music Obsession. It seems like it's a big storm coming, hitting the west coast of Florida. So hopefully everything will be okay with you. Chocolate milk is a score. All right, here we go, Adam. Adam, if you're still here, finally getting to this. The moon is following us. I got cover B, which is a wraparound Daniel Warren Johnson cover. Pretty awesome. Actually, the cover A, the original cover, is really good too. But I love that this is a wraparound and it's by DWJ. So as you guys know, I've been touting DWJ's name for many months because of his work on, primarily because of his work on Transformers as both artist and writer at the beginning, and now just writer. But also his previous work, Do a Powerbomb. He did a Beta Ray Bill story. He did a Wonder Woman story. He can almost do no wrong these days. He is definitely one of the hot artist creators. Has a fantastic YouTube channel, which he streams every Friday of him just drawing and talking. And he also posts some pre-edited videos that he's doing about the making of The Moon is Following Us. But he's just seems like a super cool dude, very down to earth, really has a lot of heart in his stories. Like he draws very high intense action, oftentimes influenced by wrestling action sequences because he loves wrestling. And his action sequences just go there. Like there's like people dying and limbs getting ripped off, and he did all over Transformers. But the one thing I'd say as a writer and a creator is he injects so much heart into his stories, and oftentimes those stories revolve around family values, family dynamics, family relationships. And I think because just knowing the snippet of his own personal life, his family means so much to him. He has such a great relationship with his parents. He's done some videos where he has his parents interviewing him about his success as a comic artist. It's really funny. And it just seems like family is super important to him. He has a young daughter who he talks about on his stream all the time. And then obviously his wife, and he talks about like his familial duties and just drawing, and he's like, I gotta go because my wife's calling, like all these kind of stuff. It's just so him. He's very authentic on stream, and so I love reading the stories that he writes and the artwork he creates because you can tell it's who he is. And I think that's been the whole appeal of his stuff. Like, for sure, he's a fantastic artist, but just the kind of stories that he wants to tell really resonates with a lot of people. So this is the new book that just came out last week with him writing, and he's doing some art from my understanding. And then Riley Rossmo, who is another hot artist right now, they teamed up on this book. And then Mike Spicer, who is the colorist for Daniel Warren Johnson. So yeah, I've been waiting for this book. I could have picked it up last week, but this cover version didn't come out until this week, so I had to wait. But here it is. It came, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, it's this like fantasy story. He explains a little bit about the creation of the story in one of his episodes of a video that he produced about it, like just kind of thinking about a story with his daughter. And it's this sci-fi fantasy kind of world that he's created. But look at this cool designs. This bat, like, I don't know, bat vendor, bat dude with like a weird bat skin on. Wow, this is creepy. So yeah, I think this was a story he was thinking of when he was thinking about his daughter, and just he kind of turned it into this comic story. Looks great. Colors look awesome. Artwork looks fantastic. I haven't really picked up many books that Riley Rossmo has done before in the past. He's worked a lot with Harlequin, a lot of DC stuff I've seen him do. But looking at this makes me think, oh, maybe I should look at his stuff because it's cool. It's like very gestural. Feels like it can live in the Daniel Warren Johnson universe, which is why they probably get along so well. Like if you told me tomorrow Riley Rossmo is drawing the next run of Transformers, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. But it seems like they're working on this book together. And from what I've seen on the streams, on Daniel Warren Johnson's streams, like they mail the artwork back and forth because they're working on top of each other and in conjunction with each other. So it's kind of crazy, but kind of fun because, and both of those artists, both Riley and Daniel, work traditionally. So they're doing like inks on paper, and that's why they have to mail the pages back and forth to each other, not doing it digitally, which I love. So this is definitely mostly Riley Rossmo stuff, but then this looks like DWJ's work right here. Yeah, this looks like DWJ. So cool. This looks great. Looks like a great book. Like something, it seems like there's like two realities that we are jumping back and forth between. And the parents, maybe the kid is sick and the parents are like doing something to help her survive in the other reality. Wow. Amazing. There's Do a Powerbomb. Everybody was raving about this when this came out, and I was like, well, I'm not that into it. And I didn't know that much about Daniel Warren Johnson. I was like, I'm not that into wrestling. But I read it, and it's a great read. Really fun book. This was another book he did, Space Mullet. Haven't read that. He did another one called Murder Falcon, which I haven't read either. But it looks good. I did purchase or back a artist edition of a whole series that he did called Extremity. So that has yet to come. I think it's being printed right now, but that's going to be an artist edition, like at size original artwork scans of that series Extremity. So should be awesome. Watching him work on stream is really amazing. He just attacks the page. I mean, you guys have seen me work on stream a little bit. I'm pretty careful. I'm like, oh, I don't want to mess that up. Get this. And he's just like hitting the page. He's got all these like crazy brushes and pens he uses, but it's amazing. Really amazing. I think he even uses airbrush sometimes. So there you go. Moon is Following Us. Looks great. Okay, catching up with you guys. Emotress says it's been raining for like 3 days straight now. Wow. Yeah, it must be that storm coming in. Awesome one says Mark can pick up Katie on his boat from the airport. That reminds me, I took a trip when I was much younger. One of the first few years I was married, my wife and I, we went to Italy, took a trip to Italy, and one of the places we visited was Venice. And you can't get to the airport, but you got to get there by boat. You know, mostly Venice is mostly underwater or by water travel. I'm sure it's even worse now because I've heard that it's like slowly sinking. But yeah, we had to wake up really early and get on a boat to get to the airport from there. So if it storms too much, you could just take your boat and pick up Katie, Mark, just like someone said. Mark's Music Obsession says, only rain for us, looks like it's east of us. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, but who knows? You never know until it gets close to when it's supposed to hit. So hopefully it doesn't hit too bad. And I hope it doesn't affect my relatives' travel plans. Love DWJ Comic Book. Central Comics says, yeah, he's, like I said, he can do no wrong right now. He is on top of the world. He's won a couple Eisners, which is huge for his career. And I just love how humble and appreciative he seems on his streams as a person. Like he seems really gentle and just like a dude you would just love to hang out with. So he's great. I wish him all the success because he deserves it. And he works fast and he works hard. And he is just very, very good at what he does. Okay, bouncing back and forth, trying to wrap things up. Rocky will probably finish streaming by the time I do. Let's see. Streaming while working, John is. John says, I have a face for radio and a voice for print. So here I am in chat. I didn't cover Murder. I've never read Murder Falcon. I have to. That's on my list of things to read. It took me a while to get around to. I did flip through Do a Power Bomb, and it took me a while to get to that. But once I read it, I was like, this is very good. So I do want to read all the rest of what he did. Was that Jay Ryan? Maybe. Oh, we took a train to Venice from Rome. Yes, we went from, I think our trip was like Rome to Florence to Venice. And we got to Venice, but then we were leaving from Venice. I can't remember, but we had to take a boat to some airport there. So it was kind of cool. It was cool because it was like way early in the morning, like maybe 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and we're on the boat. It's dark outside and you're on the water, and it's kind of crazy. All right, 2 more books to go through. Whew, can we make it? Here we go. Old Dog Operations. This is kind of cool. I've been seeing Declan Shalvey talk about this. So he's working on 2 things. One was a Kickstarter, which is like the behind the scenes of him creating his first run, his first series, Old Dog, original series, Old Dog. But then he's also releasing this through Image, which is kind of like an anthology, and he got other artists to contribute. I'm a big fan of Declan Shalvey, and it's funny because he just released one of his newsletters, I think today, his bi-weekly newsletter. And he kind of went through all the stuff that he's working on, all the different projects. And then today he was like, this Wednesday, I have 4 things coming out. And it was like 4 things. So he has this coming out. He did the cover for Deadpool. He is writing a Moon Knight story. And Thundercats, he's writing Thundercats. And then simultaneously, he's working on the Mystique miniseries. So he is just a guy who has, I don't know, 50 different projects going all at one time. And I so admire comic book artists, comic book creators who straddle both working on mainstream stuff to get like the bills paid, and then also working on their own creator-owned stuff to really focus on, you know, the stuff that they own and that can like bring them the most benefit in the long run. So Declan Shalvey's one of those guys, and I'm just constantly shaking my head at like how he's able to get all this done. So he seems super disciplined. But yeah, this came out, Old Dog. I have the whole Old Dog series in single issues, and I also have the graphic novel, which was only $10 to get, the graphic novel of the single issues. Oh man, there's a bend on this page. Weird printing thing. Oh, dang it. I wish I noticed that. It's like a whole bend. Boo! Oh well. And so he did his own story here, which is classic Old Dog. I did a whole stream. You guys can look up one of my Wednesday streams if you haven't seen, focusing on Declan Shalvey. So going through not only Old Dog, but some of the previous work he had done to lead him up to this point. I also own a couple of his originals. One from Old Dog, which is behind me right here. This is from Old Dog #2. And I have another one from a Wolverine story that he did. But he's great. Talk about a guy who's a great creator, great artist, writer, and storyteller. And I think he has been coloring Old Dog himself too, so he has always also coloring his stuff. This story is by John McCree. I did the finishes on it, which is cool. So yeah, I think this is just an anthology of different Old Dog stories. This is by Matthias Bergara, who did the cover of... Didn't I just look at that? Yep, same guy who did the cover for this. Wow, full circle. Sorry for the glare. He's got this nice pencil-y, sketchy style, so he did a story in here too. And he came out with his own series, Matthias Bergara. Okay, I'm going to look it up because it looks like an amazing series. I haven't read it yet. Is it called 12 Steps? No. It's called... What is the name of his... He's from Uruguay. And what is the name of that book? This is an old bio. Step by Bloody Step. I said 12 Steps. That's like Alcoholics Anonymous. Step by Bloody Step and Coda. Yeah, that was the other one. Beautiful artwork. I haven't read those books yet, but it's like fantasy series. This is David O'Sullivan. Don't know his art. Cool. Declan Shalvey is an Irish artist, so I know he also taps into a lot of that talent pool over there. I don't know who this is. Sumay Kesgin. It's cool. I love it when people have their own takes, do their own takes of a person's character or person's story. Luke Sparrow. So I think this artist, if I'm not mistaken, another thing that Declan Shalvey's working on is a new Terminator series that's coming out soon. He's writing it, and I think Luke Sparrow is the artist on it. Great art. Leonardo Romero, great artist also. Very clean line style. It's cool. So if you like espionage stuff, some weird sci-fi, like, yeah, definitely mysterious, like large corporations, government corporations doing horrible things, and Black Ops, Old Dog is the book for you. Chris Sprouse, oh, he's great. Chris Sprouse worked on Tom Terrific, I believe. He also worked on Black Panther. Very, very solid artist. Midnighter. Gavin Guidry, another solid artist. This is great. It's like a Avengers team of artists to work on there. Yeah, so this weird stuff, this weird, like, unexplained alien kind of things. There's a lot about Old Dog that's, like, hasn't been explained yet. And so this kind of taps into it. It's cool. This looks like it's Declan Shalvey again, ending it up here. Creepy. Old Dog will return in 2025. Oh, I guess I could have looked. I could have looked at the bios here. Yeah, this is the first series, Red Act 1. He also is writing, yeah, that was another thing that came out today, was like the compilation of Time Before Time #6, which he worked on. I do have Injection that he worked on with Warren Ellis, which is great. I've read Bog Bodies, kind of cool horror story. Savage Town, I have not read, but I heard they're developing that into an animated series. So he's got a lot going on. Oh, that's... Oh yeah, that's the cover I have, right? Yeah. Kind of bummed that I have this like strong crease in the book, but anyway, cool to get Old Dog stuff. Love it. Huge fan. Declan Shalvey. All right. Where are we at? Where is my cursor? Okay, 248. We're doing good. Oh yeah, you just said that. Oh, we just said that. Okay, cool. Last book. Here we go, guys. Did everyone fall asleep? It's possible. Hey, I accept it. I accept it. But you guys are still here. All right, here's the last book. This is kind of a fun one. And when I saw it last minute that was coming out, I was like, whoa. Facsimile edition, Superman versus Wonder Woman. This is large size. So here's the regular comic book size. And this is the collector's edition that they came out with. And they've been coming out with quite a few of these recently. They came out with Superman versus Muhammad Ali, I think was one of them. There was another Batman, Neil Adams, Batman, Ra's al Ghul story that they came out with. I didn't pick up those. But I did pick up this because I've actually been eyeing to buy the original release of this. And I haven't been able to find a version that was affordable or that I wanted to get. So I was really pleasantly surprised that they came out with a facsimile edition, because there you go. It's available. But the reason why I wanted to get this was because it's drawn by none other than Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. You guys know how much I love his work. He's a master, definitely upper echelon comic book artist, classic legend. And to have him draw Superman versus Wonder Woman is pretty awesome. I love these kind of colors and this kind of style, like the old classic style. But it's not boring. It's like when you get Jose Garcia Lopez drawing it, it's really appealing and dynamic and great posing. Like he's just jamming Superman in cool poses everywhere he can. Look at this. Just like breaking out of the panel. Cannot contain Superman. Look at this beautiful Wonder Woman right here. So cool. I'm not sure how big the original size print was for this book. This does feel like it's blown up a little bit bigger than the original. I could be wrong. Maybe this is the original size, but it does feel like it's scaled up a little bit with the resolution. It's crazy. Cool pose. I love seeing her in this like civilian garb. One thing I did pre-order, which should be coming out soon, is a DC style guide that Jose Garcia Lopez did. And it was always kind of this legend that existed where we would hear about this famous style guide. Nobody could get their hands on it, or it was really hard to get your hands on it because it wasn't sold to the public. And it's what DC used, all DC artists used whenever they were producing any kind of merchandise or advertisements. They used this guide, and Jose Garcia Lopez was the one who set it up. But they just recently, I guess, rescanned it or reformatted it, and they are selling it now from this famous company that does these kind of old manuals and releases them in beautiful formats. And so I pre-ordered that. It should be coming out pretty soon. Look at this guy, Baron Blitzkrieg. So awesome. And this guy's Samurai. I think this is the same character from Super Friends, maybe? Not sure. Wow. This guy is a character, almost acting like a hero, but he's got swastikas. Say words, everybody. Words. Stupid work stuff made me miss too much of it already. No problem, Mark. It's okay. You're here. That's all that matters. You're here. Don't ask, say contradictory things, Comrade Sammy. Are you asleep? Wake up. If one word response is contradictory, it confuses everyone. Wow, that's deep. You'll get there. Just close your eyes and wake when it's over. That's what I tell myself. Just go to sleep. It'll be better in the morning. Hey, K-pop junkies here. Haven't played this in a while. What's up, K-pop junkie? How you been, my friend? You've been busy. I know that. I've seen you in other people's chats, crossed over with you in other people's chats, but I know you've been busy streaming like a crazy person with all the books you are promoting and supporting. So thank you for coming in. I know you're busy, either streaming or sleeping. Gorgeous colors, the purple and the green. I don't know if it's this book or the old dog book you're talking about. Maybe it's this book. Yeah, I love this book. Look how appealing his Wonder Woman looks. It's awesome. He draws women so appealing and beautiful and powerful and strong, but just like still like just real appeal. This is so cool. I love that it's in big format. I feel like a little kid. It's just too big. I don't like this coloring. He looks like he got sunburned. That looks like computer coloring to me. Colorist Jerry Serpy. I don't know. Maybe it's not. That's awesome. That's not a pose you often see Superman. Only Wonder Woman can throw him like that. I love it. Just a fisticuffs, full out brawl. And I'm going to guess they're going to team up after this and then fight Baron Blitzkrieg. Look at that. Full page. Booyah. That's awesome. His expressions are really great. His poses are great. He loves the like action pose from like 3/4 back, which is one of the hardest angles to draw, let alone in perspective and dynamic pose. But he just loves that pose, or loves that angle. Look at that. The cool thing when an artist can do that and draws like that and has such a command of anatomy from all different angles, you just feel like you're watching it being filmed by a camera, as opposed to like, oh, stock photo of so-and-so bursting through the building or jumping from the building, and you see that same pose over and over again. Like when they can just draw it from all these different angles, you really feel like you're in the world and we're just watching it through like a film camera. Conflagration. It's a complicated title for a story. Wow, is this guy a short Nazi? Weird. Great face. Oops. Just meeting up with Samurai. Yeah, like this back. Like, why are you doing that, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez? That's so hard. Everybody else would just draw Superman like normally flying. Back. It's crazy. Everybody's saying hello to K-pop. Oh my god, it's a Nazi. Where do I get a copy? In your comic book store right now. Just came out. It's great. Cranberry Landers popping in to say hello. Is he back or just saying hello to K-pop? So busy she is. I know you are. You're doing God's work with all the streaming you're doing for independent creators. It's amazing. Cheesecake is cooling down. She ran out of days in the month with all the streaming she's doing. Dang, awesome one. This is a feast. Cheesecake. It's like Thanksgiving. What's going on? Cranberry Lane just saying hello. Those are cool perspectives. They are. They are. Really cool. Really hard. Just showing off. Like this is hard. Very difficult angles. Wow. So cool. Look at this. Who draws this? Who draws this? It's crazy. Superman's beating the snot out of Baron Blitzkrieg. In many ways, too. This is great. Great hand. I love this. Nuclear explosion. There we go. Did Samurai and Baron Blitzkrieg die? That's kind of crazy. Look at that. Harry Truman. Great likeness. That's really cool. You get a little bio of the three guys. Jerry Conway is the writer. Joe Orlando is the editor, and Jose Luis Garcia he was born in 1948. Wow, he's getting up there. He's still alive. That's cool. Wow, that's great. That's a great drawing for the back. Super cool. There is a gallery-sized comic. I was just talking to Frank about this, of Batman versus Hulk, that is drawn by Jose Garcia Lopez. Kind of similar to this, that I'm really looking forward to trying to get. But I don't know if they're going to be doing a facsimile release of it like this. I hope so, because buying the original release is, again, expensive. Got to dig through eBay and all that kind of stuff. But I love these large format things, and I hope they do release a similar facsimile edition for that, because that would be amazing. Is my camera freezing? Just saw it freeze. And the other thing that Frank was telling me was, I guess they're coming out with an omnibus of Marvel versus DC, all the different stories that are Marvel versus DC crossovers. They're coming out with some huge omnibus soon, which will be amazing, because they'll have stuff like, I think they have the Teen Titans and the X-Men crossover, and what was the other one? I think he said maybe the Batman versus the Hulk is going to be in that, so maybe that's where I'll get it. But anyway, that all is coming out soon, but pretty cool. I think all these, I've picked up a few facsimile editions of different things in the past, both for what DC has released and Marvel. And I kind of love that they're releasing these things again to a new generation, because if you unless you were a collector and knew which issues to buy, or you're hunting for them, or you had them in your collection already, you wouldn't be exposed to some of these stories and artists and writers. So I love that they're re-releasing them, and the ones that they're picking are great. They're really good kind of staples of comic book classics. So kudos to them for doing that, and I am the excited owner of this one, because this one looks really fun. Didn't know Wonder Woman had Superman's strength. There have been many stories where they've fought each other, and depending on who is writing them, whether it's like, toe to toe, blow by blow, they equal each other, or it's just like, oh, she's almost as strong as Superman, but she has all these Amazonian other abilities that help her, give her the advantage, or so yeah. But they can definitely go toe to toe, and they have the personalities and the drive to battle it. But I know Frank Miller has written Wonder Woman Superman battles before. Darwin Cook did it in Darwin Cook did it in the New Frontier, which is, it's a fantastic series. I should probably go over that on one of my streams. Fantastic miniseries that Darwin Cook wrote and drew, and he has Wonder Woman and Superman kind of going at it in there. But yeah, it's cool. It's kind of like gods fighting each other. Wonder Woman's credit card unlimited purchase was denied. She wanted a new dress. Vengeance time. She does base level, or did. There you go. Cranberry got delivered the wrong thing. Stand aside, short kings. The short Nazi is here. Yeah, is that what you were talking about, Cranberry? You got an oversized X-Men omnibus when you wanted the ultra-sized, oversized X-Men. It's possible. What's up, Antoine? Just wrapping up here. I missed the beginning. What book is this? This one is Superman versus Wonder Woman. I'll just run through it really quick. I'm going to start from the beginning. No, I'll just run through all the books I got, because they were a lot. More than I normally get in a week. But it's exciting. Not for my wallet, but it's exciting for what I did get. And I would say, guys, I'm pretty excited about all these books. Like, there's not one in here where I'm like, well, I'll just give it a try. Like, all of these were super exciting. So there's this, Superman versus Wonder Woman Facsimile Edition re-release. Got Uncanny X-Men number 3, which I feel like I wasn't that excited about. I was excited about Uncanny X-Men number 1. I did that closer look video about that, diving deep into why I was excited about it. I read Uncanny X-Men number 2, and I was like, well, it's kind of wavering. This looks great. I haven't read it yet, but just flipping through it looks great, so I'm excited to read this. Uncanny X-Men number 3. Old Dog Operations, which is a little bit of an anthology by Declan Shalvey, great writer, artist, creator. This is his own property, Old Dog, and he got a bunch of artists to do a bunch of different short stories about his character, which is great. Check out his mini-series, Old Dog. You can get it in a graphic novel form or individual issues. This was a fun one, Lobo Cancellation Special, drawn by Kyle Holtz, which is the big reason why I picked this up, and the artwork is fantastic. He does a lot of cover art and has a Bernie Wrightson, Eric Powell kind of feel to his artwork. But he does a lot of cover artwork. I've never seen him do a full book, and this is all him. It's a pretty thick compilation, one shot. Excellent stuff if you like Lobo, if you like his art style. These two came out starting the run of this new series that is kind of honoring the Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb, Batman Long Halloween. This is the prelude to it, number 0 of 10, called The Last Halloween Special Edition. I guess they've released this before for The Last Halloween as a prologue. But they released this today, which is a reprint. Tim Sale passed away, but I think this is one of the last long Halloween things that he worked on before he passed away. And then now they're starting this 10-issue series where they're getting different artists to do a continuing story of Long Halloween. The first artist in this one is Eduardo Rizzo. Artwork is fantastic, amazing, really great stuff. If you're not familiar with Rizzo's work, highly recommend it. Great graphic storytelling, colors are beautiful, awesome book. There's going to be 10 issues of this, a different artist doing every issue. Wolverine Revenge, Greg Capullo's mini-series story that he's doing with Wolverine. I picked up the first one 2 weeks ago. This is the red band version. It's basically just Wolverine doing Wolverine things, but like more violently, but with all the classic characters. Sabretooth, this this is Forge and Mastermind. Yeah, just getting violent with it, but great Greg Capullo stuff. I picked up this Black and White Bloodshot, which is an anthology, just on a whim, just flipping through it in the store. It's like one of those anthologies where they only use black, white, and red, but different artists take on Bloodshot, which, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not a huge fan of the Valiant universe, but I do like the character Bloodshot, so decided to pick that up. Looks cool. My guilty pleasure of the week, Turtles of Grayskull, which is a crossover of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and He-Man Masters of the Universe. And the artwork looks so fun. Very geared towards the love of the toys when I was growing up. So I love it. I'm kind of psyched about it. And I mean, come on. That just says it all right there. It's amazing. And then finally, The Moon is Following Us. This came out last week, but I had to wait till this week to get this particular cover, Daniel Warren Johnson cover. Daniel Warren Johnson is writing and doing some art in it. Riley Rossmo is also creator, doing most of the artwork in this. And it seems like this great family story taking place between two worlds, parents helping out their dying child is my guess. This fun fantasy sci-fi world with a lot of heart. So very excited to dive into this series. I'm not sure how many issues this is going to be. Might be 6, might be 10. I'm not sure. But those of you who know, I'm a huge fan of DWJ, so very excited about this book. So yeah, that's all the books. All the books I picked up today, which is quite a bit. Quite a lot. Wouldn't even know where to find a comic book shop in my area. I don't think they exist here. You can order it online, I'm pretty sure, Emo Trash. Check out a few different sites that sell online books. I know a lot of you guys in here do online ordering too. So yeah, you can do that for that book. And it just came out, so it should be available to you. Something very appealing about that flat palette for the Superman Wonder Woman. Yeah, I love it. I love the limited palette. And but then you see like coloring for the Long Halloween. I talked about it earlier in the stream about the masterful coloring that Dave Stewart did on, it's still flat palette, but it's really beautifully done, very sophisticated. So yeah, I love it. I love limited palette coloring though. K-Pop Junkie has so many people reaching out to come on. I feel like bad because I don't have the dates available, so I'm making a master list of people that review or interview. Yeah, you are carrying a heavy load, but I mean, I'm sure every single one of those creators appreciates how much work you put into promoting their books. And I've said this before, but you are just so excited. Your enthusiasm like oozes out of the stream when you are talking about each one of the books, and it's just great. It's really great what you're doing. Unless there's one in Alexandria or DC, but I ain't subjecting any of my family to the hell that is the traffic out that way. There's gotta be comic book stores in DC. There's gotta be, right? Is this Jose Luis? Yes. Yes. The Superman Wonder Woman is. That's why I picked it up. There's a nice comic shop in DC by U Street. All right, cool. Down the street from And Pizza. Wow. Do you live near DC? K-pop? Only been to DC like maybe 3 times in my life, but noted. And Pizza's right off one of the metro lines. Wow, you must live close to DC. There's a few stores in Maryland about 30 minutes from DC. Yeah, they play fast and loose with Wonder Woman's strength levels. It's very frustrating. Yeah, it depends on who's writing Green and how much they want to make her like butch up. You know what I mean? For lack of a better word. Or how like strong they want to make her than everybody. Or I love in this one where it's just like she can just go toe to toe with Superman. Like I love it. She doesn't have to like be the dominant female over the male. Like it's not. It's just like they're just 2 super strong superheroes. Usually the lasso of truth can restrain Superman because he's generally vulnerable to magic. Yep. So she uses the extra things she has. Although I always wondered, like if I were Superman, I would just default to the heat vision. Like I would just heat vision the heck out of everybody. Like why not? You don't need to get close to them. Just blast them the whole time. Just like laser through them. Why doesn't he do that? Yeah, hurry up, emo trash. Where are you going? I'm about to end. I was getting shorts. They sent me like 4. Then you can be like Robin in this long Halloween where he's wearing his Robin booties. We were just talking about those earlier. If you got shorts that are 4 sizes too small, that's scary. Asian size shorts. Small Nazi size shorts, maybe. The colors so good. Yes, they are. Kyle is so nice. I need that Lobo book. There's a few Halloween specials I need. Yeah. Do you know Kyle Holtz? Do you know him? I've never seen any interviews or anything with him, but yeah, I love his artwork. I wish he was on a regular book, but just judging by the amount of pencil mileage he puts into it, I can see how he probably takes a little longer than your average comic book artist. Those books look great. Yeah, it was a good haul. Good haul. I'm not a huge Valiant fan either, but if Miko Soyan is drawing it, I get really curious. And I think he has done Bloodshot, right? Is that, if I'm not mistaken, he's done Bloodshot before? So, yeah, I remember his name. I'm surprised. Has he done any like other mainstream books like Marvel or DC? But I do remember him from Valiant. Bloodshot is one of the more imagey characters, not an image. That's probably why I liked it. Have you centered on your next project to do while watching Rocky yet? Maybe cooking, Comrade Sammy? Yeah, no more shelves. What are you going to do? Sean's old Springball comics comic that. Nice! Mark's music obsession. He bought Springball. It's fun, man. I got his issues right here too. It's fun stuff. Like if you loved Image Comics, it's just all that. Shant was channeling all that in those books. And it's good stuff. I love that he's working on a new Springball thing right now. I don't know where it is in the hierarchy of projects he's juggling, but yeah, I'm excited for whatever new format or new story comes out for Springball. It's really fun. Dave Stewart is amazing. Antoine Dennison says, avoiding the garish over-rendered stuff that's become commonplace today. Yeah, he is somebody who, if you want color theory, like that guy is so good at limited palette stuff and just subtle choices that he makes that enhance the artwork. Like, I love all the stuff that he colors, and he's been doing it for a long time and has worked with the best of the best, so he's great. It's been 20 years, but I've only been to comic shops in Virginia. I'm near Detroit, but I spent the last 10 years in the DC area. Oh, okay. Detroit. Wow. Awesome. Comic Universe is in Springfield Mall was my favorite back in the 90s. K-pop, your awesome one's neighbor. Go bring her some cheesecake, man. Superman doesn't use heat vision all the time because it would cut all the stories short. But you know, it's like it could solve a plethora of problems that he's had in the past. Somebody coming at you with kryptonite, heat vision from like a mile away, right? You could see him from a mile away, then fly the heck out the way the other direction. I don't know. Superman can't use heat vision indiscriminately. He has a man and needs to recharge. He is a man and needs to recharge after each blast. Is he? Is that the like John Byrne revisionist stuff? Like, was it always like that? I know John Byrne rewrote a lot of Superman to kind of limit him and make him more human, but I'm like, come on. Kyle was on my friend's drawing stream. Cool. That's awesome. That's great. I'll have to look it up or something because, yeah, I'd love to know more about him. He seems like super talented, and everything that he's done, I've really liked. I just follow him on social media. But yeah, I love his artwork. It's got great fundamentals, great like style, a lot of influence. It seems like from Bernie Wrightson, and who like we don't see many people who are modern day like Bernie Wrightson influenced people, and his stuff feels like Bernie Wrightson stuff, but like for this modern age. So I love his work. I have the preview version and issue 1. Haven't found issue 2 yet. I can't remember. I think I have multiple copies of issue 2, so maybe we can work something out, Mark. I didn't know anything about cons until my late 30s. Wow. John, drawing, who knows? I'll come up with something at some point. Superman doesn't have the balls to heat visions at people. I feel like he'd cry. He'd cry and then his tears would dry up in the heat vision. All right, what about cold blast? Like he could cold blast him? I mean, he could do so many. He could clap his hands so hard. They would like, the force of it would push them back. He could, like the movies, he could spin and rewind the rotation of the earth in reverse time. Come on, Superman. Just people, it's not thinking. It's hard to get a mom to drive you to a comic shop when she couldn't shop at a store near it. Yeah, that's true. Superman could use super speed plus telescopic vision plus heat vision, and again, there would be no more superhero books. I don't know. Superman. I'm working on my drawing stream now, but I need to fix my lighting. Otherwise, I'm going to have to call it Xenomorph Draws. That's amazing, Antoine Dennison. I can't wait to see it. Next time, or whenever you get that set up, please let us all know. We'd love to watch and come and join you. I will say I watched my last stream, the Eisner stream, just to see how that closer angle on the camera, the one where it was like changing colors. And I really I don't like the changing colors, but I do like as close the camera is to see the drawing that close. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep that. And for the next stream, which, when will that be? Probably not tomorrow, unless my relatives get delayed. Maybe Friday? I don't know. I've got so many panels. I was talking with Frank at Amazing Fantasy when I picked up some of those books. And he said, "You're done with the Eisner page. That's great." And I'm like, "No, I'm done with 2 panels." And he's like, "What?" He was like, "That was like a 3.5 hour stream." And I'm like, "Yeah, I only did 1 panel in that time. So I've got a lot more to go. I think I have 6 more panels to go." So it's going to be a while. But yeah, drawing stream. Should try and get 1 more in before the end of the week. We'll see. It would just end everything all the time. Would it? Or would it make it interesting? Would it force the other characters to step up? I installed a shelf near my window and put a plant. No plant, but it holds some Funko Pop figures and a S.I. Robinson signed photo. Okay. Cold breath is weird. Breath is hot. True. Yeah, true. Better cold than stinky. True. Also true. The changing colors was such a non-issue for me. I like the close angle. All right, cool. I agree. We are in sync. I will keep it. Fire Rocky. Hashtag Fire Rocky. Not technically. And that's a really good point. And we'll end the stream on that. That's probably a good point. That's probably why Marvel won out for me as a kid. than DC. I feel like Marvel's characters felt more real, and there were limitations, and they were more human, and I guess that was more relatable than a superhero guy from another planet that could do everything. But I always wondered why Superman couldn't. Like, it was always those conversations you had of like, well, who would win in a fight with Superman versus blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm like, well, Superman, he can do anything, right? He's Superman. He's the strongest guy. He's super speed. But I don't know. It's fun. It's fun comic talk. And, but heat vision, I feel like, was the most underused power. S, not C. Oh, okay. Wait. You said something. C. S. Robertson signed photo. Oh, okay. Not C. C. If I were able to draw Superman, I would bring him back to the original Siegler and Schuster roots. He'd be running on telephone wires and punching wife beaters, right? Fighting Nazi robots. Come on. What we firing Rocky for? I don't know. Marvel cares more about physics than DC. That's a good way of putting it. That's probably why it worked. All right, Uncle C funny moments. There we go. So you guys, it's Psy. No, I don't know. I'm losing it. All right, you guys. You're just trying to keep me. I feel like I'm being baited every time. Alan Moore was the first to show Superman using heat vision as an offensive weapon. Yes. And I know Frank Miller did too with some of the Dark Knight stuff. So that's when I was like, okay, DC, I'm in with Frank Miller's run on Batman and the Dark Knight. Like, because he made it feel more real and believable than these iconic kind of crazy characters. Cy Robertson. I'm sorry. All right, you guys. Sigh. I'm going to take off. Thank you. I ended sort of on time, but not really. But that's okay. Things are all right. 9 comic books today. Go back and watch the stream and see all the fun stuff that came out. It's worth it. There's a lot of worthy stuff. Hopefully appeals to some of you out there. And please like and subscribe to the stream. Thank you guys for being here. It was really fun to hanging out with you. Next stream will probably be an Eisner drawing stream again. Stay tuned for that. I'm not 100% sure when, but it should be coming soon. So I'll see you guys later, and take care. Talk to you soon. Have a happy Wednesday.